wanna talk? So let's talk. Yeah. Talk. You wanna talk? You gotta talk, you need to talk. News talk.
I talk, you talk to Solomon. I talk, you talk to Solomon. Yeah, let's talk to Solomon. Talk to Solomon.
You gotta talk.
Good evening, America. It's Talk to Solomon time. Thanks so much for joining us. That's me, Stan Solomon. I'm the host, my co-host.
Chief Steve.
And also joining us as a co-host and kind of the guest this half hour, our friend Greg Howard, a financial expert from the southern part of America. Hello, Greg.
Good evening.
How are you tonight?
I'm doing very well, sir. Thank you. And you?
Glad to hear it. All right, folks, there's much to talk about. I did not schedule an additional guest this half hour because we're going to talk a bit about health care. That's kind of in Greg's wheelhouse. So there's a story out that says 7 million will lose insurance under Obama's health law. I think that's a low number. I think that everyone in America will lose private insurance within the first decade. Your thoughts?
Actually, I think it's an extremely low number. One number I saw was that the 30 million that we were trying to insure was going to be replaced by 30 million losing their insurance, and here's why. Right now, if you look at the cheapest Obamacare plan for a family of 4 or 5, you're looking at $20,000 per year. However, if you choose to simply pay the fine to the government for not having insurance, it's around $1,200, $1,500, something like that. I don't have the exact numbers in front of me. Now, if you're sitting there at home and you don't have enough beans on the table or enough gas in the car, which incidentally gas went up 17 cents in the past week, or you're simply just struggling to make ends meet trying to keep a kid in a junior college or whatever the case may be, you don't have $20,000 lying around for this government health care plan, which we don't know what's in it because we haven't seen it yet, and we don't know what the deductibles and so forth are going to be and whether it's even worth having. So the average person may just simply decide, you know what, I'd rather just pay the fine to the government, which is what I think they really were after all along, and we'll go without insurance. Second of all, a number of employers are simply cutting back the number of full-time employees they have. And they're doing this by either hiring more part-time employees and creating 2 positions out of 1, or they're not growing their businesses, which is a natural result of a failing economy and a conscious decision not to grow their businesses in uncertain times. So all in all, I think we're going to end up with much more than 7 million. I think the number's going to be 30, 40, 50 million more people becoming uninsured over the next decade.
Well, let's talk about some of those things you've said, all of which are frankly true as best I know. The typical fine is about $200 a month or $2,400 a year. And paying
but there are caps on it.
Yeah, there are caps, and especially for lower income people. But the bottom line is that's only an option for the next 2, 3, 4 years. After that, you have to pay. They'll simply make you pay for the insurance. It will be deducted from your income. You will have no choice. The fine is just a bridge over troubled waters for 4, 5, or 6, or 7, or 8 years until people become more and more, used, if that's the word, to being mandated by the government. And anyone that believes that if they can mandate you buy health insurance, they won't mandate you buy an electric car, or they won't mandate that you insulate your home, or they won't mandate that you, go to a certain. Who knows what they're going to mandate, Chief?
Well, remember too, this is why the Obama hired all these extra IRS agents, because they're going to come and find you if you don't pay this money. They're going to come and get it. And like you said, Stan, or I'm sorry, like Greg said, it doesn't matter if your rent's a little late or you don't have food on the table. They're going to come and get their money first. That's exactly how it's going to work. But another part of this that I see coming is going to be when you go to the doctor and the doctor says, oh my gosh, you got high cholesterol, then they're going to be telling you what you can and can't eat. So no more of these high cholesterol foods or no more of this or that, and they're going to be more and more in control of our lives than they are already.
Now, we don't know what the future holds other than it won't be good. It used to be you looked forward to a brighter future for yourself, for your kids, for your grandkids. By the way, I am excited about the announcement of another new grandchild coming in our family. But the fact is, the government is going to take over the lives of all Americans. When you go to the doctor, and that will be mandated, and when the doctor decides you need to do or not to do, and that will be shared, then all your purchases of food and the like will be on cards, not with cash, which will be eliminated. Greg, you know where I'm going with this.
Yep. Well, let's put it this way. The median income in the United States is roughly around $66,000 a year. You're going to be asked to pay $20,000 of it out. Now, that is the gross, by the way. Out of that, of course, you have payroll taxes, which went up. A lot of people were very surprised to see that in January. Those are the low-information voters. The rest of us knew it was coming. The average person making $50,000 a year will take home $1,000 less this year because of the tax increases that Obama promised he would not give to anybody in the middle class. $50,000 is, by my definition, middle class. It's not wealthy. As a result, of course, you're going to have $1,000 less to live on there, and now one-third of your income, if you're a median household, is going to see a drop in your income. You're going to be putting out one-third of it towards the Obamacare plan, and at the same time, we're seeing rampant inflation. Of course, the Consumer Price Index is not showing this because they conveniently exclude food and energy from this computation. So the two things that are most important to the average American family, food and energy, your groceries are going up. Anyone who's been to the grocery store now sees that package of hamburger gone from $3 or $4 up to $8 in almost no time at all. And like I said, gasoline has crept up. I wouldn't say crept up, shot up 17 cents in a single week. This is hurting the American family. And at the same time, because there are no jobs available, or very few jobs available, and there are way too many people available for the job market, there is no pricing pressure or pricing power for the employee. You cannot simply march into your boss's office and say, I want a raise or I'm leaving, unless you're a very, very specialized employee with niche skills. But if you're the rank-and-file person with typical, business degree, typical skills, or typical clerical skills or computer skills, you don't have a lot of pricing power. Your boss probably has 6 or 7 resumes in the drawer for your position.
Well, that's well said. And let's go a little further with this conversation. If you look at the big picture is to bring parity, if you will. The NFL, the NBA, the Major League Baseball, the idea is to make all teams competitive. Well, the idea of the socialists, the Marxists, the leftists, the communists, the Democrats, I think I just said the same thing 5 times, at any rate, is to say, let's make everyone equal. So if you're a person making $25,000 a year, or you're a person making $100,000 a year, they want everyone to live the same. So they're going to subsidize people up, I think, up to $80,000 a year. They're going to pay some part of that, quote unquote, $20,000. And so if you're making $30,000, you won't pay any of it. If you're making $90,000, you'll pay all of it. So the idea is to make things equal. And then when you add the mandates, and then when you increase the taxes on what you do have, I think the idea is to create the proletariat in the United States, where everyone, no matter where they are, has about the same, after all the mandates are done, the same amount of flexibility, the same kind of lifestyle, that, with some minor differences, but not major differences, which, by the way, is very much the way it is in most of Europe. Yes, you have the super rich that live, very well, but the vast majority of the people in Europe, whether you're a butcher, a baker, or a candlestick maker, whether you're an executive or you're a line worker, they all pretty much live the same. The cars, either you have a box with a little chrome, or you have a box without the chrome, but you just drive around in a little box. You have a house you've lived in for your entire life, and maybe 3 generations before you. There just isn't a lot of variance other than what maybe music you listen to or maybe what kind of clothes are given to you. Chief?
You're exactly right, and the goal is going to be for everyone just to work to support the government. That will be the end product. So if you're a worker, your efforts will be to run the government, and you'll be allowed to have some type of a meager existence. If you're some type of a business person, you're not expected to make any type of a profit. Your money is supposed to go to the government and making more workers that can support the government. So like you said, everyone will be in the same type of a situation, but profit or advancement or any type of me trying to outdo the Joneses, that's all out the window.
And the people that win in this system, of course, are members of the quote-unquote party or the ruling class. Greg?
Right. And one thing you have to remember is there's a huge difference between fairness and equality. Equality means the equal ability, equal chance, or equality of opportunity. And that's what our founders gave to us or wanted to have for us, and that's what many of us are still fighting for, whereas fairness means equality of outcome, which means that we will eventually reach the lowest common denominator, which is what you were talking about, Stan, where eventually we will all live in virtually the same somewhat livable level of squalor.
And that's exactly what they had in communist Russia, and frankly still have pretty much in Russia. Now, the other part of this equation, which is being talked about, and of course the Republicans have shown their true colors, and that is illegals, who we now can't call illegals, allegedly, being thrown in order to make things fair, in order to make things good for them. You simply chop off more and more and more of what we call quality of living. This one article said that the cost of Obamacare will go up $300 billion. That's crap. It'll go up $2 trillion because we will find that the 11 million quote-unquote illegals in this country living in the shadows are actually 111 million because everyone in Mexico, Central America, South America, and all points east, west, north, and south will all find their way here because we're not enforcing our borders, because once you open that gangway, the gang will come in. Chief?
You're absolutely right, but that's again the goal. I keep hearing people on the right complaining that the left doesn't get it. Well, the left gets it. They know exactly what they're doing. This is a plan of theirs, and they've decided to destroy American freedom, destroy us, and incorporate their own socialistic views on this country. And part of the deal will be to allow the illegals to come in because they're going to support them because they're going to get handouts.
Remember these 3 letters. This is an acronym. EBA. That's the way you really spell Obama's name. It stands for equal but awful. That's what's coming, folks. The American dream will become the American nightmare, but it'll become the whole world's reality. And that is, there is no upside. There's a whole lot of downside, and you keep your mouth shut so you can maintain what you have. Greg?
Well, actually, going back to what you were saying about immigration, this family unification thing, once the people are in, of course, they will petition for reunification and bring the whole world in with them. I have a real problem with this. As you know, my mother is a legal immigrant. In 1958, she did what legal immigrants did. She stood in line. She filed for a visa. She filed letters of credit. She had sponsors waiting on her in the United States. She did everything to prove that she was not going to be a burden to American society. She came here with an education and skills and the ability to earn an income and has never once been on the public dole in her entire life. Worked her life through and ended up, like all people, retired Social Security and some of her own money in the bank when she retired. In other words, she did it right. She played by the rules and became a citizen the old-fashioned way. She earned it. Not like these border burglars that come across, sneak in, and say, well, I'm here. What are you going to do about it? I'll tell you what we ought to do about it. We ought to round them up and kick them out. Pathway to citizenship to what? People who had absolutely no respect for our laws in the first place, and upon coming here had to have committed several law violations in order to stay here and work. These are criminals. These are not the type of people we want to build a society around, and we want them gone, okay? There are millions upon millions of people around the world that have skills, honesty, work ethic, and are willing to play by the rules to get here. We want them. We don't want these border burglars in our country, and they can get out of here and they can take their anchor babies with them.
All right, well, we won't comment further than that because I think that said well.
But let's add one thing to what Greg just said, that they are criminals, and in this country, when criminals are arrested and put in jail, they are separated from their family. That's part of the deal. So illegal aliens committing a crime should not be exempt from being separated from their families. And let's remember, too, that they're sending billions of dollars back home, even claiming children that live in Mexico, they're getting our dollars from here going back home, all illegal.
And people have no idea how often that's done, that you can go to any Walmart, any Marsh, any Kroger, any place where they're doing tax returns, and these illegals come in and they list 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 children, some of whom exist, some of whom don't exist, some of whom live in America, some of whom don't live in America. Our government knows they're just getting checks for $10 and $15 and $20 and $30,000, and they give it to them anyway. And then they want to come after us because we owe, allegedly, $600 or whatever they think we owe, which we may or may not owe. The IRS has already admitted. They send millions of letters out to people saying you owe $300 or less dollars, and people just pay it even if they don't owe anything because they're afraid of the IRS. There's something wrong with being afraid of your government. All right, I want to talk about guns. Not that I am a big guy on guns, but there's a high school football coach who has been suspended. Now, that's a difference around the guns, but he was suspended because he said, and let me quote, Michelle Obama has a fat butt. And being queer is an abomination to God. Both of those are 100% true statements. He was suspended because the kids, some of them recorded it, and of course, some of the parents cheered him, but some of the parents didn't. Michelle Obama, to me, is a personal affront. She is an ugly, obnoxious, arrogant, dishonest, disingenuous, deviant, did I say ugly? Ugly person. The only reason she's married is because Barack Obama was a queer. Everyone knew it. His pastor found ugly women that couldn't find a husband, got them to marry these queers in the hope that the queers would keep their homosexuality on the down low, that's what the program is called, and present themselves as married. Now, whether or not those kids, and I have nothing against the kids, God bless them, are his kids, her kids, their kids, I have no idea. I don't have anything ill to say about them. May God protect them always. But the fact is, Barack Obama is promoting and pushing for homosexuality because he is a homosexual. Has been, is, and I don't know what the future holds for him. But here's a coach and also a teacher who made the comment, she's trying to tell us how to eat, and look at her, she shoves food in her face with a shovel. She's trying to tell us to be healthy, and look at her. If she gains 8 more pounds, she'll join the Navy as an anchor. There's something wrong. We have people in the studio that have lost their professionalism. I just want you to know that. Chief, bail me out here.
I certainly will. First of all, you do owe an apology to the Navy if they would ever accept Michelle Obama for anything. But my bone to pick is with public education. And we hear the hue and cry over and over and over, oh, the kids, we got to put money in education, put money in education. We put money in education, public education in this country for the last 30 years with no advancement in our children's educational benefit. What we have now are government-run buildings where parents are forced to send their kids, and they're in, first of all, moral danger. We threw God out of the public schools. Now they're taught homosexuality. There's no 10 Commandments. They're taught how to use condoms. They're taught about all these awful things. But their education is not improved. Also, they're in physical danger. All the stories we've heard in the last 15, 20 years about kids in school is they've been attacked. They're attacked by teachers, pedophiles, bullies are attacking kids. They're being shot in schools. They're being knifed in schools. They're being attacked in schools. The parents cannot even send their kids to another public school because it's a felony to take your kid from your school district to another school district. It's time to close the public schools, get the government out of education. The only reason public schools exist today is to pay teachers. That's it. The kids are there just for convenience or as a facade so the teachers can say that they're actually teaching something, but they're not. Now, the left was smart, though, Stan. The left took over education a long time ago. Education, entertainment, and the news media, and everything our kids are being exposed to today is the left agenda, the left version of doing things, and they're no longer getting any kind of a good education or any type of good values or morals that they can take on into life and use for the proper things. And so the left has been good at this. The right needs to take this back over and get this under control. But public schools should be closed immediately. Schools should be run by either private institutions or by local communities only.
Well said. Greg.
Well, first of all, if you have a kid in a public school and you're not at every school board meeting and you're not at every PTA meeting and you're not at every continuous improvement committee meeting, you're not a parent. I'm going to say it right now. You're not doing your job as a parent. And the only way this superintendent got rid of this teacher for speaking the truth is because cowardly parents will not stand up and flush out administrators like this one from their schools. We took care of that here locally where we are. 4 or 5 years ago, we had a coup. We had a parents' coup. We ran out all the liberal teachers. We ran out the liberal superintendent. He came in, another one came in behind him. We ran him off. We took over our school district. It doesn't take much. You know why? Because nobody shows up at these meetings. All you need is a couple hundred concerned parents to show up, and you will own that school district. You will own it. But you have got to stop standing around wringing your hands and going, oh, I wish someone would fix our schools. You get in there and you fix your own schools. Like Chief said, the kids are in danger because they're being not protected in the schools. There's bullying in the schools. There's pornography in the schools. Whether you believe it or not, it's there. They're being indoctrinated with garbage. And until you get in there as a parent and do something about it, nothing is going to change. These are your kids. These teachers spend more time with them each day than you do. Now, don't you think you ought to take some responsibility over that? We did here, and guess what? Our scores are going up, our graduation rates are going up, and we don't have a bunch of little libtards coming home at night.
Well said. By the way, this teacher was not fired, but he's not allowed to teach psychology anymore.
And he'll never be promoted again.
And I don't know that he cares, but the fact is, what he has done has gotten the word out, and I guarantee you there have been not one, not 100, not 1,000, not 1,000,000, but tens of millions of amen to his particular sermon, because I find Michelle Obama, and you're not supposed to attack ladies, and I'm not talking about any physical anything, but this is a perfect example of the hypocrisy of the, well, I don't know what the word is, the demonic nature of the left. Michelle Obama is nothing but an ugly racist who should not be left alone with toilet paper and a shower curtain because she doesn't know the difference. All right, let's go to the Republican Party, bound and determined to destroy itself as if the Democrats haven't done enough to them. Now there's this war between the country clubbers, the moderates, the whatever you want to call them, on one side, and the quote-unquote Tea Partiers on the other, that now the Karl Rove and his ilk are going to attack anyone that believes that's outwardly pro-life or believes that God should be part of America. I'll just start with you, Chief.
Well, I spent a lot of time in the Republican Party, ran for office several times, and the first thing I'm going to tell you about people like Karl Rove is the only thing they're concerned about is getting elected or being in power. They do not care about the people whatsoever. But also, time and time again, I hear the Republican Party telling their candidates the only way to get elected is to somehow gather Democrat votes, which is totally preposterous. So then they convince candidates to go to the middle, swing a little to the left, do those kind of things to try and get those kind of votes. And all they do is they alienate all of the people on the right totally, and then they're mired down in a bunch of mush trying to work somewhere in the middle when they should be. Republicans are supposed to stand for the right things. They should be on the right of all these issues. They should be for life, for low taxes, and for freedom in America. But they get mired down in this belief that the GOP has fed them that they have to run in the middle, which is not true at all. We saw that in prior to this last election in the House. All of those conservative people that ran in the House all got elected, all on a conservative message. And the thing that the GOP should do right now is get back to that conservative message, get back to what they were designed to do in the first place. Otherwise, they're going to be history. They're going to be the third party.
And the fact is that by not supporting whoever the candidate is, and I'll tell you that I've gotten some criticism, but if we end up with the candidate, whether it's Mitt Romney or it's whomever, once you have a candidate, you support your candidate. Now, if there's a third party, there's a third party. But those that say, I don't like Mitt Romney, like all the Ron Paul supporters, and I respect them, but they wouldn't support Mitt Romney, so we ended up with Barack Obama. Richard Murdoch in Indiana, he didn't lose because of too many Democrats. He lost because the moderate Republicans, the Dick Lugar fans, didn't vote for him. And that's what we saw all across America. Greg?
Well, I was very blessed and fortunate to have Alan Keyes on my show for 2 hours last Thursday night. And he's telling me, and he told all my listeners, that the GOP is apparently existing for no other reason right now than to stifle conservative voice and to run moderate Republicans and to basically just keep us all at bay while the socialists in the Republican Party continue to work with the socialists in the Democratic Party to erode our freedoms. And when you look at the empirical evidence of the votes, not the public statements by the candidates and the politicians, but if you get in there and look at the actual voting records, he is right. So when Karl Rove says he's going to declare war on the Tea Party, I believe him, and I believe it's been going on for a lot longer than Karl Rove's declaration.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back with Major General Jerry Curry and you right here as we continue on Talk to Solomon. Stay tuned. You have a computer, if you're alive today, which means you have a hard drive, which means it's going to break down. Mozy, the backup people, for thousands, for Stan, for thousands of people, for tens of thousands of people, is simply common sense. You go to cpnlive.com, click on the icon for Mozy, the backup people, and sign up. It's just a few dollars a month. Let me tell you something. We had a break-in. They stole our whole computer. You know what? When they take the computer, you can't recover anything, but we had Mozy. We had the backup. We were able to restore everything simply by buying another computer. cpnlive.com, click on the icon for Mozy, the backup people, and give yourself common sense, peace of mind, great value, the best thing you've ever done. Sooner or later, it's going to be Mozy, the backup people. I like to eat. Do you like to eat? We all do. And usually we run to the grocery store, we run to the convenience store, or we have something in the fridge. But power's been out in parts of this country in the last few weeks. We don't know what's going to come down the pike economically. Smart people are putting in food. Alpine Aire Gourmet Reserves is a line of foods that you can put away that will last for a very long time. You know, they say eat what you store and store what you eat. This is great tasting stuff, healthy for you, a full line. You go to our website, cpnlive.com, and click on the button for Alpine Aire Gourmet Reserves and see all the different things we have. This is good tasting food. It's reasonably priced. It will last. And it's worth its weight in gold if a problem arises. I know you don't think there's going to be anything that goes wrong. Actually, you do. This is smart. This is smart insurance. This is smart preparation. This is smart thinking. You have kids, you have a spouse, you have parents, you have dependents, you have an appetite. All those things can be addressed by a frugal but smart investment in Alpine Aire Gourmet Reserves. Try them out. You will be tickled to death with the taste of them. You know what? In many cases, people start to eat this and they think, heck, this tastes better and costs less than what you're going to the grocery store and buy. CPNLive.com. Check it out. Hey, my name is Stan Solomon, and you know if I have something to say, I'll say it. And I'll only tell you the truth because I'm a Republican, not a Democrat. Democrats always lie. Republicans only lie half the time. I don't lie at all. This is the FuelMule. It's an extraordinary product that was developed by a friend of mine, an engineer, and it increases the fuel mileage on your vehicle. If you have a combustion engine, this will increase your mileage by 10 to 20%. It bolts around your fuel line. You can install it yourself or have your mechanic do it. It is an extraordinary item, and it flat works. I've been using it for more than 10 years. It's increased my mileage on every vehicle I put it on, and by the way, it will last forever. You can get rid of your vehicle, just take it off and put on the next one. Go to cpnlive.com. You'll have more information there. You can order it right there. We absolutely guarantee you'll be satisfied. The FuelMule. It's a way to kick down your cost of fuel and kick up your mileage. Don't you love the name? I thought of it. The FuelMule. Let me ask you a question. Do you like being sick? I have in my hand an incredible product. It's called TR10 Supercolloidal Silver. TR10 stands for a trace to the negative 10th power. The particles in this silver product are 6 to 8 angstroms, 6 to 8 10 billionths of a meter. Now listen to me. Silver has been the magic bullet for all of human existence. The Egyptians used silver instruments. We use silverware. They put silver in your teeth because nothing can grow on silver. Silver will kill anything but liberalism. I'm working on that. This product, you go to cpnlive.com, buy 1 quart of this product. It will last you for a very long time. Anytime you feel like you've been exposed to something bad, take some of this product, spray it in your mouth, or take a little bit and gargle it, swallow it. It will kill any pathogen. The average antibiotic kills 10 to 20 different pathogens. This product will kill 700 plus. Do yourself a favor, do your family a favor, do your doctor a favor. He's tired of seeing you. Get supercolloidal silver. Go to cpnlive.com, order the product. It's $29.95 plus shipping. I think it's $39.95 delivered any place in America right to your door. It's worth 10 times that. Check it out. If you're not 100% happy, just return it and we'll give you your money back. Do you like being healthy? I do. In fact, this product, which I've been taking for years now, is absolutely the answer. Now, you may not believe it, but I'm actually 21, plus tax, of course. This product has 146 different healthful nutrients in it, and it's liquid, so it's bioavailable. It tastes great, and it's sugar-free. 1 ounce of Sonic Life each day will help you to maintain and enhance your health. It's a kind of a gift, well, that you'll thank your mom for, your husband for, your wife for, your kids for. Whoever you give it to, they're going to say thank you, and you are going to enjoy the benefits of having all the vitamins, all the minerals, all the nutrients your body needs in one very reasonably priced product. Just go to cpnlive.com and everything's right there. You'll be able to read all the ingredients. The price is right there, a flat price delivered to your door anywhere in the United States of America. Sonic Life is a gift, a great gift. Give it to yourself. I do.